Alright guys, this is Anthony, GM85 for Teck Stock and Shop, and we are talking about impacts. So this is a big 2-inch gray pneumatic, 3 1/4 drive. We only use 1.5 inch at work for this. The rest of them, we use these as presses. And we also use these guys at the shop. Anything that says Blackhawk is not mine unless I specify, guys. This is some shop stuff, so this is the adapter. Otherwise, I call a Widowmaker. I've never liked using the 2 pieces, but you know, you got to do it sometimes. I prefer these. This is made by Blackhawk. Pretty nice. I like the shallowness of it. It works, gets at that one angle. This is the one that we would grab, or I would anyway, because I know exactly what we use it for. So there's that. Another Blackhawk. The Blackhawk stuff is nice, but it's a little thick, but it holds up. We also have the Capri reducers in the shop. I don't use the Capri ones. I use gray pneumatic ones myself, but these are nice. They're cheap too. My coworker has Nikos, and then we also have our tang sockets that we grab, specifically the impacts. Now it doesn't look like we ground very much off, but it worked. It was just enough, so if you go like this, you could feel the difference right here. We just needed that little depth to get into something. We also have some where we cut them and make slits, kind of like O2 sensors and stuff, because we work on prototypes and stuff, guys, so we actually have to modify stuff to do our jobs. Proto right here, this is not mine, and I would not buy this. This would include, I believe, Snap-on, Right Tools, and a number of other companies when they get to making hexes. The little pin design with a little set screw, and so obviously it's been used enough to where all those impacts and vibrations, we lost those set screws. So now we have this mess here, and it's it's just a bad design. Whereas you go to gray pneumatic. Now this is my coworker specifically. This is his 3rd one. Only issue with gray pneumatic is this comes from Amazon. They won't warranty it for him or myself. So this is his 3rd one. It's a 1-piece design versus this. One size, one shape. No moving parts, guys. That's what we got to think about here. But you got to look at his real close. You can see it's already galling and rounding. And I will show you a way that I have alleviated this as much as possible on these bolts. This is the shop supplied Blackhawk set. So these hold up really nice, especially in the 1/2 inch range. They're really nice. The 15/16 is going to be segregated and talked about in a minute, along with the 8mm. Now personally, I do use gray pneumatic reducers on my gun from 1/2 to 3/8. Most of the stuff I use at the shop is going to be in the 3/8 range, but my guns are 1/2s, except for my little white guy. But I like having this because it does a few things. You reduce it, you're adding a little bit of length, so if you use a reducer and you utilize your speed settings correctly, you'll be able to save your bolts and fasteners, especially when we're talking about Allens. Not necessarily regular ones, but this is an SK I use. It's part of this mid-length set here. I've had this for a while, and unfortunately, I won't be buying any more SK impacts because I consider them a wear and tear item, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to warranty them or get them out. But they're double stamped. You can see 15mm SK on it, part number, and it's got the little laser guy on it. But overall, the SK impacts have served me very well. What I'm going to be replacing SK stuff with, as far as impacts concerned, is Right Tools. This is my only right socket I own at the moment, but it's the one that turned me on to Right Tools, and I use this every single day, and it's holding up. And this is being used on a high torque impact gun and not air hammers, but air guns as well. It's holding up really well. More of an industrial thickness on them, not like Snap-ons where they're thinner, but this is far cheaper than Snap-on by miles. This is 1 1/8 inch. I'll get a price point right here and a Snap-on price point on this side for you guys. This is a really solid option if you don't want to go the Snap-on route, but unfortunately I would go Snap-on and Right Tools in the same boat. I used to have SK in that boat, but they're not there no more, unfortunately. But this is my most recent Snap-on purchase, and it's a 3/8 SAE set. I did need these, but I really like the snap-on design sockets. They're lightweight, but they're tough. And the reasoning is, when I started as a loop tech, I started with these Craftsman 19s, and these are complete junk. I keep them around just as extra sockets. In all regards, they're very heavy, and they're just heavy, and they would get stuck on lug nuts when I started as a tech, which led to downtime for me. And you can't afford to be doing something stupid like getting a socket off a lug nut when you're trying to learn how to do a trade. So this instantly taught me the thickness, about the importance of this. This is just the shallow snap-on, but you can see how much thinner their design is. And this is not the thin wall design by any means either, but this taught me a lot of stuff real quickly about that. Then if I see them, I do buy them. Bonnie tools, these are ones I use here. I like these. Anything I have from Bonnie's from my uncle up in Washington, actually. But he uses Bonnie impacts himself, and he's had nothing but good times with them. They don't break on him, especially these guys, because he works on a lot of equipment up there. And he says they're just as good as Snap-on in his opinion. Those are his words too. For cheaper stuff, guys, I would use things like Cobalt, and this is bought specifically to modify into this, and the anvil is decent on it. The wall thickness is pretty good, actually. It's thin, but I had a purpose for this impact. Then Tecton. Now I bought Tecton for the reason of doing what I just showed you, to make my own stuff. And these things are extremely cheap for the money. This is a 3/8, but also it's really thin. So I buy Tecton impacts to make stuff up, or if I need something in a pinch. I mean, it's pretty close. So this is what, 3/8? Where's the Snap-on one at? 3/8. Where you at? There you are. No, that's 1/2 inch. Close enough. Where is it? There it is. All right, fellas. There's your Tecton. There's the Tecton right here, and there's a Snap-on. They're pretty close, in all honesty. So Tecton's a really solid option, in my opinion, for low budget tools. Very solidly built and cheap as hell. I would not hesitate to buy a Tecton tool. And then to alleviate all the Allen problems at work, I use this gray pneumatic. Mine is really in decent shape compared to my coworkers, who gets used by himself and everyone. His is beat to hell, because they take this and they ram it in there, and they go boom, 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 and it's beating the fasteners up and the tool up and everything else. Whereas I'm using this on a low speed setting on my gun, and boom, boom, and I run this down, and then I switch over to mine, which is in much better shape than this. It's at work still, though. I had to leave it there, but I grabbed this because it's damaged. So you go right there, and here's a representation of what I mean, fellas. This is just a little mock-up. So this is a brand new bolt here. So that one's brand new, and you can progressively see as we use them, they get worse. So that's pretty bad. You can get a few more uses out of some of them, but what happens is, like, this is damaged enough to where it rocks in there, whereas this one doesn't really, barely moves. So I use this with a speed control. But how this really gets achieved as this damage here is, there's guys in the shop that are still learning. They grab the 15/16 and they run this into an 8mm, and now we're off to the races to damage this crap, and we have to extract these. Now these things can be a pain to extract, especially if someone pre-drills these like they have, where it took 2 days to get this out, and it was on a finished product that was meant for final production, unfortunately. But that was not me. And then the last thing I do use is these Astro Nano Torx impacts. Now this is a good set. This is T25 to T70. Cheap, reasonable, and in my opinion they are better than the Lyle ones. I've had the Lyle ones break on me before, so I haven't had any issues with these. T70 is specific. I think it's for a compensator on a Harley, is what they switched it out to. It used to be 1.5 inches, I believe, but that's I really bought this just for the T70, just to have it. But I have 2 sets of these now when I work, and then this one's for the home. And I can't say nothing bad about these, in all honesty, guys. What else do I got here? I think that's it, guys. But overall, for impacts, you got to consider wall thickness and length and serviceability on them, because can you get a new SK snap-on, a new SK socket? Probably not. Can you replace a green pneumatic? Yes, as long as you don't buy it from Amazon. Can I get new snap-on stuff? Of course I can. Can I get new right tools? Of course I can. Bonding tools, unfortunately. Can I get new bonding tools? No, I cannot, but it's a perk tool of old American stuff. Can you get new Teck? Of course you can, all day long. So you got to think about all that stuff. Blackhawk, I don't even know if you can get Blackhawk at Garinger no more, or if they even replace stuff like Proto no more there. They used to. I don't know if they do that no more. But you got to think about all of these things, though, because these are wear and tear items. These aren't like your Snap-on chromies or even Craftsman chromes. These things wear out versus chrome. So that's where the difference is. So for me, I would go with Snap-on and right tools, and even Teck. And I don't know what Craftsman's doing with impacts nowadays, so I wouldn't even put them on the list. But my top three: Snap-on, right, and Teck. And then I'd throw SK in there, but unfortunately SK is not on that list anymore because of what happened with that company. So this is Anthony, GM85, and this is all I got for you guys for Teck Talk and Shop this month was impacts. You got any suggestions? Leave them in the comments. Remember, follow Teck Talk and Shop at Tex_talking_shop, and follow us on Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys.